was up? Well, I just got home from the game. Normally, I usually wait a day or two to kind of post a reaction, digest things, but just wanted to get this one out real spontaneously without even looking at stats or anything like that. Just kind of going off of what I experienced, in the stadium. Stuff comes off easy. It's weird, the emotions of this particular game, because that first half was like it's nothing I'd seen from our team in a long time. I mean, we've had slow starts, but man, I mean, it was like, where's our offense? Are on the vacation or something? Because we just could not get out of our own way. We could not get anything going, and it's always a challenge when watching a game from inside the stadium, because you don't get to see all the benefit of the replays of the penalties and stuff. So half the holding calls and stuff, we really don't get a good analysis of did they really hold or whatever. But it just seemed like we were getting penalties on practically, felt like almost all of our first downs, to where the offense was either working out of a 1st and 20, 1st and 25. So, and it just seemed like that was kind of the story with the offense anyway. So it was nice to see them come alive in that last a couple minutes of the first half, when we went into kind of the 2-minute drill. But that first quarter and 2/3 was just painful, as you guys all saw. So it was good to see them wake up out of their coma and start moving the ball. But yeah, the penalties doomed us throughout the game. More so on defense, it felt later in the second half. I don't know how many times it seemed like we had like 3rd and longs, and we had stops that we were seeming to make, and then there would be a holding call, a pass interference. And again, we don't have the luxury of being able to watch it after the fact. They're not playing it in the stadium, so I can't really tell whether it really happened. We just have to kind of assume that that it did. But it was just seemed like they were getting the calls at the worst possible times for us. So yeah, that was frustrating. Penalties just killed us tonight. But yeah, just general execution. We had so many 3 and outs to start that first part of the first half of the game. And what was frustrating me is that going into this game, my feeling was that we needed to run the ball, establish the run, keep Arizona off the field, so that do some ball control. And we started out slinging the rock around, which was cool, it was exciting. But then it seemed like we just didn't get back to trying to commit to the run, and we'd dabble in it, and we would kind of get slammed. But the first half, that was just really ugly. And then things picked up in the second half, and obviously we started to turn things around, got some momentum, made some drives, and then it was nice to see Paul Richardson go out there and get his first catch of 2015. It was an exciting one. Baldwin had a hell of a game. Lots of clutch receptions there. Disappointed in Jimmy Graham. He had a couple of drops in there that were really should have had types of catches, and I don't know what he ended up with. I know he had a few, but should have been more. And the thing about this team, with being that we're not this explosive, high-powered, high-scoring offense, we have to make every single possession count. Every play has to count, because we miss one execution on a 3rd down. That's suddenly we're punting, and we just don't get those opportunities to. We have to keep drives alive and then finish drives. We just don't have that ability to just suddenly just throw a bomb and get 80 yard. That's not how we're built. So, he's got to make those catches. Wilson was definitely trying to get it to him, and from my vantage point, I thought we were very lucky to have the score as close as it was at the end of the first half, because that game could have been easily like 21-0, 20, maybe even high 20s by the first half, and we were lucky that it was as close as it was. But there were a few passes in there, that some ill-advised throws that Russell made that we didn't get picked off on, but there were balls bouncing off defenders' hands several times. He could have easily had a 4 or 5 interception game. He was lucky we only had, how many interceptions? I know there was at least 1, maybe 2. I don't remember how many he ended up with, but I've been saying all along he needs to trust in the play and just kind of put it out in there. But there were some times he was thrown into double coverage and guys just didn't seem like they were open. I don't know. It's frustrating to try to figure out our team, because once again, this was very eerily familiar felt a little bit like the Rams game, felt a little bit like the Bengals game, felt a little bit like the Panthers game, in the sense that in those other games we were actually it was more like the Rams game, in the sense that we were kind of really getting thrown around, and then we came back, took the lead, and then gave the lead back. The Bengals and the Panthers games, we had pretty much controlled the game and then blew it in the fourth quarter. This one, obviously we had to dig ourselves out of the hole, but when it came down to it, when we finally did do some amazing things, again, and to come back both on offense and on defense, defensive line made those amazing sack fumble plays that led to 2 touchdowns, got us back in the game and got us the lead. That was awesome, and we were all flying high. But we had the lead again in the fourth quarter, and it was exactly what happened in a couple of the other 2 games, 3 games that we should have had. And I don't know, man. I mean, our defensive line was making plays, but man, I don't know what's up with our secondary. I mean, I know Carson Palmer's a great quarterback, but that's several times now that we've been beaten with drives down the field. In this case, they scored 2 touchdowns on us in the fourth quarter to, not only cut our lead, take the lead away from us, and then ice it basically with the second touchdown that they got. It's the same story. Blown, lead in the fourth quarter. Defense can't hold it, and the offense can't help the defense out by getting, their own drive going to at least get a field goal or something. It just, drive stalls. And Arizona, in this case, Arizona makes plays, and we didn't. So, I don't know. I mean, it feels like this night was supposed to be a real test of what we really are. And I guess it feels like the record is true to what we are. Your record is what you say you are. We are a 4-5 team. We're a below 500 team. And as much as I spent the whole first half of the year saying, yeah, well, we could easily be 6-2, 7-1, 5-3, or we could easily be 3-5, if certain things don't go that way. Now we're 4-5. Well, we're around 4-5, and we haven't really fixed the problems, really. Line protected pretty good. I don't think Wilson really got sacked too badly. I think he took a couple there, but it's halfway past the halfway point, and it just has not really. We just haven't seen enough improvement. Offensively, clearly, the Jimmy Graham, utilization just hasn't been what it needed to be. But it's perplexing trying to figure out what it is, because we got this talent, especially on defense, and yet we're just not doing things that we've done in the past. Where's the interceptions? Where's the plays in the back of the defensive backs making those plays back there? We had some, obviously helped lead to the comeback. Earl getting that stop again in the first half, getting an interception when again it could have really gotten ugly. So the defense was credit to the defense in the first half. I mean, they hung in there and they were on the field way too long. They were like, time of possession was like triple of what we had. And the defense was, I mean, they had to be dying being out there so long and having to try to make stand after stand after stand to keep the bleeding, minimize the bleeding. So those guys are working it, It's just, again, they did great things. They did great things in the third quarter. I really was liking what the defense was doing through 3 quarters of the game. But again, that darn fourth quarter, we're not closing the games out. I don't know what it is. But so, it's frustrating. It's frustrating to, see these games that we could easily have won, losing. And here we are now, 4-5. I'm not gonna say we're it's done and we're over, but obviously this was a key game into keeping the division race tight. Now with Arizona 7-2 now, with 3-game lead on us and a tiebreaker, it would take a major run by us and some pretty major falling apart by the Cardinals in order for us to have a shot at that. And realistically, the way we're still playing, it's going to be tough. Realistically, we're probably looking at having to try to steal a wild card somewhere. And luckily, a lot of other NFC teams are looking pretty bad. NFC East is just, pretty lame. Giants losing that game today. Just to the Patriots. As much as I hate to see the Patriots continue to win, it was actually kind of helpful that the Giants lost in terms of any hope for playoffs. I mean, I think we just have to stop thinking about the playoffs and just worry about the next game. It really is a one game at a time. And, right now it's just, it's been a while since we've lost 2 games at home. Home field advantage feels like, we've kind of lost that edge of the, intimidation factor of CenturyLink. So hard. There were so many cool moments in that game that were great, and yet, when you just don't win, it negates all that. Defense played physical. We just didn't make the plays we needed to when it really counted, and we got really tough calls against us when we needed, to make a stop. The flags kept it alive. On an editorial commentary, I gotta say this, is that it drives me nuts that I wish the officials would the officiating committee would look at the automatic first down on a 5-yard defensive holding call. I don't care if it's benefiting us or another team, but that's just, you could be 3rd and 99 from your 1-yard line, right? And you get an illegal hold in secondary for 5 yards and an automatic first down. To me, that's just way too much advantage to the offense. I hate that rule. Obviously, it worked against us a couple times, but even when we get it, I feel it's a guilty, lucked out there, because especially on these, when it's such a huge yardage, you have to overcome, and a little hold that's worth 5 yards and automatic first down just kills all that. It just doesn't seem an equitable penalty. It's way too much making passing and the offense too much advantage there. But as a side note, a little complaint of mine. So now what? We got 49ers coming in this week. We ought to be able to take care of those guys. So, but one game at a time, just got to take care of the one in front of us and then see where things lie. But just hasn't been our season. We just haven't been getting the breaks that we used to get in the past. It's just we've been falling on the other side of it, and it's frustrating. It's tough. It's tough to lose when you've been, as lucky as we have, to have had seasons starting in 2012, 2013, 2014, where we'd been playoff bound and Super Bowl, Super Bowl runs in there, almost taken for granted. This is a tough reality check to lose 2 games at home, facing the reality, the possibility that the playoffs might be slipping through our fingers. So, this is a challenging time. It's going to be a challenging time for the fan base to not, jump off the bandwagon, so to speak, and lose faith and hope in the team. But I myself, no matter what happens, I'm going to be there screaming and cheering, trying to get these guys to, win as many games as we can until it's all over. So it's not over. We still got a shot. It's an uphill battle, but we just got to take care of what's in front of us. But it's frustrating. Just not used to these kinds of losses. And I don't know what it's going to take. We've got the talent, so I just don't think it's that we don't have the right players. Maybe it's the coaching. Maybe we miss Dan Quinn more than we realize. Maybe we're missing Kent Norton more than we realize. What was bizarre about it is the secondary, which seems to be the part that's just not as powerful as it has been. And we still have him, and he's our defensive coordinator. So go figure that one out. But anyway, sucks. But what do you do? Move on. Focus on next week and try to get him. All right. Sorry for the downerness of this video, but kind of is what it is. So keep watching. Keep the faith. Don't give up. Keep your head high. We'll get the next one and try to just keep rolling and see what happens. I want to say a quick thank you to Laura Stockler-Carter. She's the wife of Cannonball, as you probably all know. She's the one who did my face painting today, so she did it for me also before a few games ago. So big thanks to her for doing my paint. It's great, love it. And yeah, hope you keep watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and check out NorbCam.com. I'll keep putting more videos up. Promise to get more games up there. But, yep. It's tough road, but I stick with it. All right. Talk to you guys soon. Go Hawks.